Hello guys, we're back again with another video. Firstly, thank you so much for all the love on my last video, and hello to all you new subscribers. I've never gained like 20 subscribers in a matter of days, and I was like, whoa, what is going on here? So hello, you guys are all welcome. If you didn't know, I'm going to be posting twice a week from here on out, every Wednesday and every Sunday. So should we talk about yesterday's fight? Because there is a lot of discourse on yesterday's fight. Joshua Buatsi versus Zach Parker, and all the fans on TikTok, they are literally in the comments going back and forth. We've got some fans saying that, no, Zach Parker won that fight. No, Joshua Buatsi won that fight. And they're literally going back and forth with all their reasonings, which is fair and that is fine. But for me, like when I was watching the fight, right? Obviously, like us all boxing fans do, when we watch the fight, in our heads, we score it. And for me, one thing that helps me is that the little like on the little pop-up on the side where it says the boxer who has thrown the most punches, the most power punches, whose punches have landed the most. Like I look at that and that kind of gives me a bit of an indication of who the judges might choose. So I use that um as to who is like winning the round and who the judges might be like leaning more into to give the nod for the win. And so based on that, I thought Zach Parker was going to win. So when Joshua Buatsi won, that's when I realized that maybe Zach Parker's tactics just didn't fly and it didn't land with the judges. And when I say tactics, one of them being him, the amount of times that he was on the floor. And he was on the floor quite a few times actually. And I guess it just didn't land with the judges. Now, there is a lot of discourse. What's next? Who should have won? There's a lot of talks around it. Personally, for me, you know, actually, before I get into like what's next with Joshua Buatsi, when I did interview him, he wanted to win, right? And because he just wants to progress, he wants to get back up, he wants to like progress and move forward. And obviously, he did even say that, like, even after his post-fight interview, he said, it wasn't my best performance, but I'm glad I got the win. As anyone would be glad to have gotten the win. Like, let's just think about it, just as people, right? Let's not imagine us being a boxer, like just as people. Imagine if you was on this rise and like you was winning, you're on this winning streak and the confidence that is building within yourself. And then let's say that you lose. You then could start have questions like, am I good enough? Like, should I continue? Like all these type of questions, like, what did I do wrong? Like, am I capable? Like, you could have all of these doubts because you've lost. Do you know what I mean? And then on top of that, you got hundreds of thousands of people telling you how rubbish you are because you've lost. And then you might even have some people that tell you to retire because you've lost. So, like, you have a lot of that. And then that could also take a part and a play in your mental. A big part of boxing is also your mental. So, just that's also something to know. But he got the win which he wanted, and he also said in his post fight interview that he wants to move on, and he wants to continue progressing, and he's eager to have the winner of the Benavidez and Yard fight. And fair enough, and that's fair. And he said that was what's promised. So now we're having this discourse on the fight and people are saying, let's run it back, let's have a rematch. I'm kind of thinking, but at what cost? Like if they have the rematch, what's the gain? Is it to just put it all to bed, like to see who actually like, because with this fight it was whoever wins, they get the winner of Benavidez and Yard. And you can imagine that if you go on and you fight the winner of that fight, you could imagine the types of fights you would even get, even if you win that fight. Of what I'm saying is making sense. Do you know what I mean? Like the trajectory in which your career could then go if you do stay on this winning streak after even taking the winner of that fight is big and it's massive. So I just think, is a rematch like necessary, like right away? Is that the right thing? I don't know. But for me personally, if you was to ask me, who should Joshua Buatsi get in the ring with next? I'm going to say Anthony Yard. Like, that fight has been brewing for years and years and years. It's been talks and talks and nothing has materialized for whatever reason that it is. I remember when I interviewed Joshua Buatsi last year and I did ask about it, and he was like, if the fans want it, like, do you guys want to see it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I want to see it. I did see some talks of other boxing fans saying that they would like to see it. We've been wanting to see it for years, mate. Like, I remember when I first like got into boxing many years ago, it was the talk then. And like, I'm here now and it's still not even happened. So that would be a really interesting and a really good fight. And I mean, they're both under the Queensberry banner now also. So like, why can't we see that fight? I would love to see that fight. And I think Zach Parker, he could go in with Ben Whittaker. If Ben Whittaker wins against Benjamin Gabassi, why not? Let's see that fight. That would be huge. So that's what I think. But I would love to hear from you guys. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Who would you like to see Joshua Buatsi get in the ring with next? And who do you think Zach Parker should get in the ring with next? Or do you just want to see a rematch? So we're in a new month and there's so many fights that are taking place this month. There's practically like a fight every single weekend or near enough. And I think as a boxing fan, that's just so exciting to have like fights upon fights upon fights upon fights. It feels like Christmas already. So we had Joshua Buatsi and Zach Parker that kind of got us started yesterday. And then we've got Virgil Ortiz and Erickson Lubin, and that's happening next weekend, Saturday, the 8th of November. Why this fight is exciting is someone like me, Eddie Hearn, and Jerome Boots Ennis, they're waiting for the outcome of this fight. And I take it that if Virgil Ortiz wins this fight, then the next fight to make is going to be Boots and Virgil Ortiz. Now, there's been lots of talk of that fight happening early 2026. I would love to see that fight. If that fight does happen, then it also does silence all those people that have been saying, well, Boots used to fight, you know, someone with a bigger name. Da, da, da. So I think that puts that all to bed. So I would think that would be a beautiful fight to see. And I really do hope that it does happen. So we just got to wait to see how that plays out. And hopefully we do get to see that fight. Then we're supposed to have Gervonta Tank Davis versus Jake Paul on Friday the 14th of November. But as of this week, there have been some charges that have come out against Tank, and MVP have like put out a statement saying that they're looking into this, they're investigating it. And there's also been talks that I've also seen that potentially Jake Paul's looking for another opponent for December. And I think the two dates was December the 13th and December the 19th. So I don't know. It looks like it might be up in the air, and we'll see if it goes ahead. Then we've got Chris Eubank and Conor Benn, the rematch, which is happening Saturday, the 15th of November. I mean, we've just got like 2 weeks to go for that. I think it's just so incredible how quick that rematch has come around. Like, usually you'd have to wait a long time for a rematch, but we've got that in the same year. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited to see how they both come out for this fight. It seems like they're going to have different game plans, but they both have the eyes on the prize, which is to win this fight. So that will be really interesting. And then we have the big ring card, which is happening on Saturday, the 22nd of November. And that's when David Benavidez and Anthony Yard will be headlining for the WBC light heavyweight title, big main event. Then we've got Brian Norman versus Devin Haney, and I've been enjoying watching them and their little clips on social media of them preparing and getting ready for the fight. Both men are looking sharp. And that's the co-main event. And then we've got Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. And I also know that Bam Rodriguez is also fighting that night. So that is a stacked card. Really looking forward to that Saturday the 22nd. So many fights taking place in November. So much boxing taking place. And this is all really exciting. Let me know, what fights are you guys looking forward to seeing this month? And how do you see them playing out? But that's all from me. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. If you don't already, follow me on Boxing with Steph on TikTok and on Instagram. That's where I post daily. And if not, I'm going to see you on Wednesday. Have a great time.